Looks like we back. All right. We back. We back. Yep. 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 Oh, wait a minute. Let some people get back in here. Let's see. I should have put part two on the thing, right? Let me see. I should put that. Let me put part two because I already actually went live. Put part two. That'll work. Wait for some people to get in here. Let me see. Yeah. My apologies for the technical difficulties. Um, I had to reset. I resetted the modem, try to see what's going on. It be like that sometime. It definitely be like that. But I was going over talking about Robert Brooks, where his family has basically they filed a lawsuit against the correctional facility because there was no all right, Black Rain. There was no nobody has been brought up on charges. You got about 16 correctional officers that were suspended without pay, but they still haven't brought charges against these correctional officers. And it's been this long. It's been, so his family has filed a lawsuit, and I'm gonna read a little bit of it. They filed a lawsuit. Nothing is being done, which is crazy, insane, and it's the ups and downs of Black people being brutalized by law enforcement and not seeing any true justice. And I think with George Floyd, that was probably like the last time, should I say, like that was the time when people were at their angriest and they were fed up during George Floyd, that situation. That was on video with the cop with his knee on his neck. And because of that, it was an uproar in society. Even, all people were upset. And for a minute, you thought that maybe America might burn down because of it. And now you have something that is on the same level, and it just seems like people don't care. People could care less. People are not concerned about it. And we are easily distracted by whatever pops up in the media. We're easily and I'm not taking anything away from the fires because I'm going to get to the fires. Not taking anything away from the fires, but it's like 1 minute the media says this and people look that way. The next minute the media says this and people look that way. The next minute the media says that and people look that way. And so it's like it's a short memory, a short-term memory where people don't really remember what just happened. This is horrible what happened to this brother. Now he was locked up for some things he'd done and he was halfway through his sentence, but it's a horrible thing to see on video them beating this brother, hitting him in the face, kicking him in his genitals. Then the next day he passes away. At like if you think about it in the context of our forefathers, this is like a slave beating. This is like a patty roller beating. This is like them coming up across with somebody and just beating the hell out of them and they pass away and nobody is, held accountable for it. Well, his family, they have filed a lawsuit. So I'm gonna read a little bit. Let me get this. I'm gonna just share the screen. Okay. I'm gonna share the whole screen. Hmm. It seems still like I'm looking at the status of the feed and it looks like it's tripping, but y'all let me know if it's tripping or not. Share the screen. Now, so this is from the website corrections1.com and it says family of Robert Brooks, inmate killed in New York prison, files civil rights suit. It says that the Brooks family federal lawsuit against the COs calls for criminal charges and reform, citing systemic abuse and at Marcy Correctional Facility. It says the family of Robert L. Brooks Sr., the inmate killed by a violent beating from the correctional officers at Marcy Correctional Facility last month, has filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the officers involved and the commissioner of the State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision. The family addresses the media for the first time on Wednesday from a hotel in Rochester, where they announced the lawsuit. Brooks' son, Robert L. Brooks Jr., and his brother, Jared Ricks, are seeking a jury trial against the 17 officers, supervisors, and nurses who watched as Brooks was beaten by about 5 officers. The attack caught on body cameras worn by officers resulted in Brooks being transported to a nearby hospital where he was declared dead in the early hours of December 10th. So the family is seeking justice, not the state, not the mayor, not the district attorney, not nobody, because none of these officers have been charged. None of them have been charged. And we're talking about 17 people that are suspended without pay. But where is the charges at? It's on camera. Remember, I said a long time ago, I said this. I said, had that been me and I was committing any type of crime on camera, I am a goner. They're gonna make sure that I go to jail, I'm in prison because I'm on camera. I can't refute the crimes that I did on camera. And it seems like when it's them, it seems that they want you to think that the cameras are not showing you what your eyes are seeing. Like your eyes are not actually seeing a man getting beaten. Well, we have to do an investigation. We have to look into these things, and we're currently investigating, and we're doing our own little deep dive and trying to find out what really happened. No, I see what happened. I see clearly what happened. I clearly see what happened with Robert Brooks. And it's a shame that people still believe in a system that would not seek justice for what we see on camera. That should dishearten anybody. Just because he was in prison doesn't mean he's not a human being. That brother was a human being. They always talk about being a human being, and they want to police other countries and tell them how they treating their citizens and all of this crap. Well, he was a human being. He was a a living in the flesh 3D human being with people that loved him, people that looked up to him. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was. And so I'm gonna go to this video, and I hope that it don't start tripping, right? I'm gonna go to this video with Captain Azanaya out of Syracuse, where he's been going to all of the meetings. He's been in all of the, the protests with the family, standing with the community, trying to get justice for Robert Brooks. Give me 1 second.
I'm Captain Azadiah of the ISUPK out of Harlem, New York. The Israelites that everybody sees on the corners down there in Harlem and across this country. Okay, but I don't come in the name of saying that everybody should be Muslim or Christian or Israelite or Republican or Democrat. Those correctional officers right now have full support from every correctional officer in this country. And they are murderers. So if they have solidarity, our key focus for solution is we need to be solid. We need to have solidarity. It's time for us to stop talking about our differences of who we are. Blacks, Hispanics, what are we going to do with this? Oh, we this gang, we that gang, we Syracuse, we Rochester, we Buffalo. Today that should come to an end.
That's right.
Because that was on film.
That's right.
And that happens every day to black men and black women incarcerated in the prison system.
That's right. Say it.
It was just by the grace of the Most High that it was put on film.
Yep.
And the atrocity that happened was so inhumane that today we shouldn't just think of Robert Brooks as another individual that was incarcerated with a number.
That's right.
Everybody out here should look at him as a brother, as an uncle, as a son, as a father, as a cousin. It's time for us to look at each other as family.
That's right.
That is what Commander General Yohana and the Israelites are talking about. The ISUPK is saying we are all one family.
That's right. Say it.
And when we are all one family, we have a greater power.
Right.
Because not only are we one family, we are the chosen children of the Most High God.
That's right. That's right.
They wouldn't do that to a dog or a cat.
Thank you.
You hear what he said? He said a lot in there. But he said they wouldn't do that to a dog or a cat, what they did to Robert Brooks. And regardless of what black people believe in or what your stance is, one thing we can agree upon is the fact that that was inhumane what happened to Robert Brooks. Now, other groups that are not black, if you have if you have a tiny piece of compassion in you, you would also say that that was inhumane. And in fact, if that was done to a dog on video, there would be an uproar about that video. But because it was done to a black man on video, everybody says, this is Nothing new. Oh, I seen that. That's terrible. But look what's going on in Gaza. Oh, did you hear about the fires in California? Not taken away from any inhumanity, any genocide, or nothing like that. But what he said was really heavy. And to say that you love your people, to say that you actually care, you have to actually show it. And what I can say is that these brothers show it and fight for their people. Like, I'm not going to stop talking about Robert Brooks. I'm over here in California. That's New York. But the image, it burns me so deep, and it hurts so deep to see what happened to that brother, regardless of what he was in prison for, that I'm not going to stop talking about it. I can't leave it alone. I can't leave what happened to Robert Brooks alone, like I can't leave what happened to Kendrick Johnson alone. Like I can't leave what happened to Sandra Bland alone. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't leave what happened to the sister when she was at the slumber party with nothing but other white women, and she ended up dead at the end of the night, and nobody knew what happened. I can't leave stuff like that alone where you don't know. But right here, it's on video with Robert Brooks where you see what happened. The next day he passed away. I mean, it don't take rocket science to know what happened, to figure out why he passed away. It's just common sense. It's common sense. You know what I mean? And his family, now they have to file a lawsuit. And I'm not saying they have to. I'm pretty sure that was going to come anyway. But the fact that, no one else has been brought up on charges, it just shows you what they think about us and what they thought about Robert Brooks. They said, let this blow over and let people forget about it. And maybe the city might have to put out, a couple million, but it'll blow over. Don't worry about it. You're okay. And that is white supremacy. Right, Nora Wilson. Right, sis. And she said, nope, it's like, yep. They would have an uproar if a chicken neck was rung like that on film. Yeah. They lose their minds on stuff like you like, okay, oh, it's so humane, but you eat chicken though. Oh, it's so inhumane, that video of them slaughtering a cow, but you eat hamburgers. Like, y'all want to be mad at everything, and y'all go all out for animals, even the animals that you eat. And it shows you the comparison. Like they wouldn't do that to, like, if that was done, I promise you those people would be in jail. If that was an animal being abused or treated some type of way by somebody that's in America, because in other countries they don't give a damn. Other countries they hit your pet upside the head and put them in a pot. They don't care, and it's nothing you can do. But in America, if that was done in America with somebody treating an animal in the way that they treated Robert Brooks, man, it would be a manhunt for that person. They would be hunting day and night till they found that person. They would be doing investigations. They would have detectives out. They would have surveillance out trying to find that person. They would try to get justice immediately. And so that's something to think about, man. That's something to think about when it comes to, this case with Robert Brooks, is that, they do not really actually care. And they're hoping that people will forget about it. But we're not going to forget about it. We're not going to forget about how our brother was done, no matter the fact that he was in there for, whatever he was in there for. I believe he got into an altercation with his girlfriend at the time. He stabbed her, and he went to prison for 12 years. I think he was halfway done through that 12-year sentence. And mind you, I've seen a story where it said that the girlfriend passed away. She did not pass away. I'm not saying that, I'm not condoning what he did, but he was serving his time in there. You're not supposed to be unalive by the correctional officers when you're in there of paying your dues and serving your time. You know what I mean? Yes, Black Rain, Michael Vick, they will not let it go. That is a good example of what I was talking about. Michael Vick, like Michael Vick just got a new job from I forgot where he at, from his hometown as a college football coach, right? And they still angry at Michael Vick. They still bringing up the dog incident. He was fighting pit bulls, and it wasn't even Michael Vick. It was his his homies and his family, but he was the money man, and they hold that to Michael Vick's neck till this day. What is that? More than 20 years ago that happened. They hold that torch to Michael Vick till this day about them pit bulls. You know what I mean? So it's just really messed up. So let me go to, there's another video that I got. Let me pull it up real quick.
Good morning. I beg you, please share this video. I really don't care about the numbers. But for black people, for black women, I need you to hear this if you don't hear nothing else in your damn life. Sister, if you are giving birth to a child, if you plan on giving birth to a child, I need you to listen to me. Sisters, I need you to listen to me like you ain't listened to a black man before. Don't you take your ass to a hospital that you done asked 1,000 questions before you stepped your ass in there. Do you hear me, sister? I worked in the ICU the other night. I'm normally a trauma medic in the emergency room, but I picked up a shift in the ICU. And we immediately got a sister in there who had an emergency C-section, and she had internal bleeding, hemorrhaging. Now the baby was taken out and the sister was brought up to the ICU and critical care. Critical condition. We could not figure out where she was bleeding from, and we were trying to keep this sister alive. I turned to the doctor at some point, doctor that does not look like us, and I say, doctor, can you come take a look at her stomach? It's getting really distended, and her BP, her blood pressure is not going down. That doctor looked at me and said, that's my patient. I'll be over there in a minute. 2 hours later, after this sister coded on that table 2 times and we had to get her back, we finally get her down to the operating room. And yeah, that hemorrhage that they thought they controlled with that emergency C-section was not controlled. She was still having internal bleeding, which was killing her. Black people, I need you to hear me. If you can take your black ass to Target, if you can go to Walmart, if you can buy and spend and do for all these corporations that don't give a damn about you, your black ass, your black community, your black race, you can ask questions for that black baby. I don't care if you think you're annoying, the doctor think you're annoying, the hospital think you're annoying. I don't care if God himself think you're annoying from asking too many questions. Ask the question, sister. Because there's going to be a certain point in that pregnancy where you ain't going to have the ability to ask not a damn thing, sister. It's going to be out of your hands. So while it's in your hands, sister, I'm going to need you to take control of that pregnancy. Black men, don't you let that woman go into that hospital and you don't know every inch of that building. You need to know if something goes wrong, who is going to put their hands on your woman, on your child. And other black people, if you work in a hospital, speak up. Say something.
Yeah. And what you said, Black Rain, about that nurse, I wanted to cover that. I'll cover it. I'm gonna cover that with that white nurse that was breaking black babies' bones. And what this brother is saying, man, that let me just say off the top, this brother actually lost his job for this video. So this is verifiable that this brother, he lost his job for making this particular video. And he's in there on a different shift, working and seeing a sister that's bleeding to death. He speaks to the doctor, tell the doctor, you don't see what's happening to her. Doctor said, that's my patient. And this goes back to even the video I did about firefighters, with the firefighter, what the brother was saying, the firefighter said in the 60s, and I still believe it goes on today, but he said in the 60s, when he was a firefighter, it was common practice for them to pretend like they didn't hear Black people screaming in those homes that were on fire. They would just pretend that they didn't hear those screams. They wouldn't go in there and save them. And I said, you don't know. It's really just you and the Most High. You really gonna have to, you will hope that the Most High has mercy on you when you're in a situation of need, when you're in a situation when you need a firefighter as a Black person, when you're in a situation where you need an EMT, when you're in a situation where a nurse is taking care of you, when you're in a situation when you are having surgery, or you are, having a baby, having a C-section, like in this case, where the sister was hemorrhaging. He said that she coded 2 times, meaning she died twice, and they brought her back. During this whole time, while the doctor is taking a sweet time, like, that's my patient. And he mentioned that the doctor wasn't Black. And the doctor was like, I know my patient. Meanwhile, this woman then coded 2 times. And so the brother is a stand-up brother, and he definitely loves his people. We need Black people just like him that have compassion on their people, man. That's the type of people, Black people, that we need when you are in these professions. We need Black people that have compassion. We don't need Black people that have disdain and, feel some type of way and are emotional. We need our people who are in these professions to have some compassion on your people. Understand where your people are coming from. And I'm not saying that there's not people like that, because I've encountered them. There's a lot of good brothers and sisters in professions like these that look out for their people. They not broadcasting it, but they'll whisper to your ear like, listen, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? But these are the type of people we need. Even if you lose your job because of it, I'm grateful that he made a video like this. He spoke to Black men also. First, he spoke to Black women. He said, you need to ask all of the questions that you need to ask, because when you're out cold and these people are standing over you, and your life is in their hands, you can't ask no questions no more. And as a Black man, your woman is having a baby. You need to know every inch of that hospital. You need to know who is operating on your woman, on your wife. You need to know, you want to know these things. You want to look them in the eye. You understand? You want to know these things. And just to give you a personal story, this was about what, 2-3 years ago? I would say about two years ago. My mother, you go in for those routine visits. Well, they said that her thyroid was enlarged, right? But it wasn't something that was bothering her. It wasn't, anything wrong with her. They just said, they want to try to do surgery on it, which, she consented. And when they did the surgery, they cut too deep. And it cut some of the vocal cord. And so for a while, my mom didn't have no voice. She could talk, but it was really, messed up sounding. It wasn't her natural voice because of that surgery. And they said, if I can remember correctly, they said that they don't know if it's going to heal back, or if it's just, if it's going to take long, how long it's going to take, or whatnot. I was so angry. That I said, I want to see this doctor, this Asian doctor, because, these people, they're just doing, it's called a practice. Doctors they are not 100% sure on anything. They're practicing medicine. They're trying new techniques. A lot of times they're just cutting into people just for a student to stand around and look and learn. And so I got to choose my words wisely. I thought of a scenario where, I come into that hospital and I grab that Asian and I grab the scalpel and I show him what it feels like for somebody to carve into you and you lose your voice. I'm just saying it was a reaction. But you have to understand these things. When your family members are under the knife, you want to know, you want to look those people in their eye. Okay, you're going to do this. And then what? And then what comes from that? And then after you do that what? So I can expect this? Okay. I better. You understand? Like, people tend to have more compassion. This is well known in every profession. People are more compassionate when it's people that look like them. I said this before. I went into the book Medical Apartheid, and it spoke about the fact that even during slavery, it was almost like Black women, their pain wasn't the same as white women's pain, whatever it was. And it's similar today, where our pain and the things that we are concerned with are not as, important to people who do, medical professionals who don't look like us. And so we have to be very, what's the word they use for terrorism? We have to be very vigilant. We have to be very vigilant when we go in for procedures. Our family have to, you want to know everything. What this brother was saying was on point, and he lost his job for it. And you know why he lost his job for it? Because it was true. It was true. Because, if it wasn't true, then they wouldn't have just fired him. They would have probably tried to prosecute him or take him, you take him to court for slander or something like that. But it's true. It's true. And so the only thing that we can depend on and hope for, number one, we can hope for that we have a medical professional that is somebody that is actually a professional, whether they're Black or white. Because you do have people that are about the job. They're about what they signed up for. But you have a lot of them that are working this job where they don't have compassion. They don't have understanding. It's just a job to them. And so when you see people that say things like this brother has said on camera, you know that they love the job. It's like an officer that speaks about the cruelty that officers commit against other officers. Well, I have a general in my school, that's General Hazayan, who is like a father, right? He was on, elite squads in the police department. And he said that they carry throwaways. He had one situation where he's chasing a guy, a brother. He chased him into an alley. The brother had a gun, but he talked to the brother and convinced the brother to put the gun down, and they arrested him. Well, his white counterparts said, "You should have shot him. Why you didn't shoot him, man?" You have a lot of there's a video, y'all go look it up. Black and brown officers say that it's like Black and brown, it's in New York. Black and brown officers, they're on camera. They say that they're told to target Black and brown people. And it's Black and brown officers. And so they feel bad to make a quota. They're told to target these communities. And so the point is that when people have compassion on their people, and if you have a conscience, you're going to say, why are we doing this? Like this brother, the doctor told him, that's my patient. Don't worry about it. While the sister coded 3 times. She died. I'm sorry, 2. She died 2 times. And he's sitting there worried about it. That's the type of man or woman you want in your corner when you up in a hospital and you can't help yourself. I don't want to talk too much about it, but Nora said, the Most High not going to hear that either in the lake of fire. Right. Black Rain, that's courage and courage. You need that courage. Doctors and nurses be sick of me because I ask all kinds of questions, especially when it comes to my kids. You will not practice on us. Right. You're not practicing on my babies. You're not going to practice on my kids. And we should have that attitude with anything. We should have that attitude with our grandparents, with our mothers, with our kids, with our wives, with our loved ones. We should ask questions. Like this brother said, he said, ask every question, because when you own that thing and you knocked out and they operating on you, you can't ask the question. It's over. It's a wrap. The only thing you got is you and the Most High. That's it. So ask those questions. And also loved ones, family members, brothers, sisters, husbands, cousins, ask the questions. Find out who's going to be doing the operation. Find out who's going to be putting hands on your loved ones. Know everything about the procedure so that you know for sure that, you know, if something goes wrong, I know who to go to. If something if something is, if it's a situation where they're telling me, oh, they're not here, they're not there, and that I want to go into, that's something else I want to go into, is you know, organ donation. That's something that's really that we really need to talk about, is, you know, organ donation, and just the evil that goes on within the medical field and the medical industry. But anyway, but the point is that what this brother said got him fired, but he said some real stuff. He said, you know, you have to know everything that's going to go on. And also your loved ones need to know everything that's going to go on. They say that Black women are 4 times more likely to die during pregnancy than white women. I wonder why. Black women are 4 times more likely to die during pregnancy than white women. I wonder why. What this brother is saying, what he just spoke about, is the reason why. What's the feed like, y'all? We got 3 more videos and then we up out of here. 3 more videos and we out of here. Let me get this next video. Oh, it's not a video, but so I want to talk about my FBI encounter. Okay. Talk about my FBI encounter. Okay, so thank you, Black Rain. Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know, man. Satan was up in here or something. Like I was having a hard time getting rocking and rolling, getting started up. And I'm glad that it's smoother now. It's better now. But yeah, so this past Friday, we went out there to Pasadena. We was in Pasadena to feed and clothe people that had been affected by the fires. All right, let me go. We want to feed and clothe people, brothers and sisters that had been affected by the fire. We were going to be at Santa Anita Racetrack. That particular day, they closed it down. The man that we were in communication with said that we could come there because that's where a lot of people were coming to drop off donations. Well, in the ISUPK, we had some things we wanted to give to people. We had, plenty clothes, plenty shoes, water, diapers, wipes, things of that nature, things that people need, necessities, right? Toiletries and things of that nature, and food. And so we wanted to do that, but on the day of, they said, well, no, you know, you can't do it here. We got something else going on, but we were told in advance, yeah, it'll be perfect. And so we found another spot to go. And this spot, it was great. It was nice. A lot of not a lot of foot traffic, but a lot of traffic. Okay, it was by one of the barricades where you had the National Guard, the LAPD, and the sheriff making sure people don't go past that to go into homes and loot homes. And so we set up, everything was rocking and rolling, everything was going smoothly. I decided to put the drone in the air. And so I had the drone in the air. And mind you, I had this drone for about let me put it in the camera. This is a what you call that? DJI Mavic. You know what I'm saying? Put it in the air for about I wasn't flying for about probably like I say 4 or 5 minutes in the air. When it, you know, just went around, I was trying to make a promo video, right? And as I landed, it was probably like maybe a minute after I landed the drone, the FBI walks up, and they walk up and they want to, first of all, I guess they were driving around looking in the air, trying to figure out where it was going to land at. And once they seen where it was going to land, they came and they asked me a couple questions. So the thing about it is I know my stuff when it comes to the drone, when it comes to the company. This company, DJI, is a company that is a Chinese company where they have threatened to stop them from being able to have drones in America because they possibly could be spying on Americans, right? But this is the #1 drone company in America as far as movies, as far as they use drones for working on power poles and things of that nature. And so there's a lot of different reasons why people are using drones in different industries. And so my reason is just for just because, you know, it's just a different look for the different places. Recently, I was in Puerto Rico, Arizona. I used it in both places. And there's a lot of restrictions. So the white woman comes up and says, "Hey, hi, how you doing?" And she says, "Is this yours?" "Yeah, it's mine. You seen it land. You see me holding it." And she says, "What's your name?" I said, "My name is Thawahgabar." Oh, what's that?" I said, "It's Hebrew." "Can I see your ID? Can I see your ID?" And you know, they say it was about the drone, but the way that we look, right? The way that we look, you know, it's not really about the drone, because then the next questions are, who are you guys? So what are you guys doing out here? What does it look like we're doing out here? Does it look like we standing around? We're feeding people. What does it look like? "Oh yeah, yo." And then they had a brother with them, right? This brother, and
If that
sorry, I'm sorry about that. They had this brother with them, and I said to myself, I said, this brother has to be, he must be the brother they sent into the hood. You know what I'm saying? Undercover. He must be that. That's what he must be, because they had the brother with them, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you guys are doing this is great. You're doing a great job." And in my mind, I'm thinking like, you need to be on this side. You need to be over here with us. You're on the wrong side, brother. You know what I mean? But they just they were inquiring about that. They said that there were rules that you couldn't fly right now, temporarily, a rule by the fire department, which I told them, like, listen, I don't know about that. And she said, "Do you know about the drone that hit an airplane?" And I said, "Yeah, I seen that about a week ago." You know what I mean? But when it comes to this particular company, like, if you're in an area where you cannot take off, when you can't fly, it locks the drone. You can't even fly. So if you're close to an airport or anything like that, it won't allow you to fly. you have to go into online on a computer and actually get permission to be able to fly and give the reasons why you're going to fly. So she's like, oh, okay. Like, had I been a brother that was ignorant and didn't know these things, I think they could have just said, you know what, well, we're going to confiscate your footage and we're going to take your drone. But they couldn't do that because everything they were saying, I already knew. You know, I already knew the answer to it. And not that I was prepared for that. It was a total surprise that the FBI will walk up on your boy. You know what I mean? But the questions about us is what they really want. You know what I'm saying? I think they really want to know, like, what are you guys? Who are you guys? What kind of name is that? What you know, why are you guys out here? And so it was crazy. It was different, you know what I mean? And it came with, you know, officers and all of that. So we knew that it was probably a big deal, but the way they looked at us, it was like, who are these niggas? Who are these black and brown men that look militant? But they're giving out food and clothes. They look like they're doing a good thing. And I think they just really want to find out who we were. So that was my experience. My first FBI encounter. They took down my phone number. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know about this phone. I might be getting a new phone because, you know, they got all of the capabilities. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about keeping this phone. But other than that, man, it was different. It was different. I didn't expect that. But overall, we were able to do what we went out there to do, which is help Black people, brown people, and it turned out to be an amazing event. And it's something that I do, regularly, but this was a little different because of the situation with the fires in Pasadena and Altadena. And so that was a little different, and we didn't know what to expect because so many people are donating right now. So many people are just dropping off food and all of those things. And in some instances, people want you to just bring the stuff and give it to them so that they can redistribute it. But that's not how we get down. We want to actually hand the food to brothers and sisters and actually get to speak and mingle with people, with our people. And so, yeah, man, that was the FBI, experience. That was the FBI encounter I'm talking about in the title. So that's what happened with that. Yeah. Karen was up in there. Nora Wilson said he's a DEI hire. He's a DEI hire. We need somebody in here to be more, to give us a more ethnic look. We need a brother in here on the FBI to give us, we want to fit in with the young crowd. That's right, Nora. He definitely is that. That's definitely what he was. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was that. So let me get to the next video. So let me go into this video.
In the world. There's more slavery today than at any point in human history. People have enslaved people for a lot of reasons. So like people who look like you enslaved other people who look like you. The reason is because you didn't enslave people on the other side of the world, you enslaved people who were right next to you. Maybe they spoke a different language, maybe they had a different culture, maybe this, maybe that, but whatever, those are the people you enslaved. The slave system that we call chattel slavery was the first time in a systematic way, in a big way, people creating an ideology around slavery based fundamentally on biology. It's not because Europeans were the most evil or the most violent or anything like that. It just happened that way, okay? You have to have a rationalization, and the rationalization was that people who looked like him were inferior to people who look like me or Nico, and then everything becomes based on that.
Now, he said a lot in there. Some of the things I agree with, some of them I do not agree with. Okay. So, number one is he talked about chattel slavery being different from all other forms of slavery. He said usually you would enslave somebody that's not far away from you, but somebody right next to you that lives around you, and they would probably have a different ethnicity, have a different culture. I agree with those points. I totally agree. Y'all know when it comes to us as Negroes, Black people, Shemitic people in the diaspora, we are different from the people who sold us, which are Africans. They're Africans, you know what I mean? They're Hamites. I'm sorry, Africans, but Hamites, because I hate the term African because it's a blanket term for the whole continent, whereas you have so many different ethnicities and cultures in Africa that don't identify with one another. In fact, I brought out that video with the scientist that said that there is so much variation between Africans on the African continent that it's crazy that you can't say that they're all the same. And so he brought out some good points right there. So I'll start it over and I'll stop it, okay? And when I need to say something.
Always had slavery in the world. There's more slavery today than at any point in human history. People have enslaved people for a lot of reasons. So like people who look like you enslaved other people who look like you. The reason is because you didn't enslave people on the other side of the world, you enslaved people who were right next to you. Maybe they spoke a different language, maybe a different culture, maybe this, maybe that, but whatever, those are the people you enslaved. The slave system that we call chattel slavery was the first time in a systematic way.
So he talks about the slave system that we call shadow slavery. It's the first time in a systematic way that they enslave large groups of people, particularly, exclusively Black people. Okay. You have a lot of times where even in this day and age, white people, and usually it's white people, that's why I'm using them. I never really hear anybody else say this. Say that there are people in slavery today. There's people, everybody has been enslaved. You'll hear them say this in order to get out of culpability of the transatlantic slave trade. They'll say, well, a lot of people are enslaved. There's people enslaved today. You can't just, make it about you. You ain't the only people that went through something. But chattel slavery is different from all other slaveries. You have white people that say, well, I'm Irish. My people was enslaved. Well, Irish were indentured servants. The Irish were indentured servants. I believe they went to the island of Jamaica, some of them. And what an indentured servant is somebody that could work their way out. In Africa, you had slavery, a form of slavery before the transatlantic slave trade, which is you're a person, just like this is like kind of like a biblical slavery, right? Where you have people, I hate to use the word slave, I'll use servant. You have people that work for you. And either they, work for you and they leave, or they work for you and they stay. And so these people are looked at in many cases as being a part of the family, having the same rights as the family, just being a part of the family, marrying into the family. Like, that's not the same as chattel slavery with black people and European white people in America. That was a whole nother beast, a whole nother animal. There's nothing that you can point to that is the same as what happened to Black people. But you have people that try to, rationalize it and make it seem as though Black people are complaining too much when we bring up slavery, as though, other people didn't go through the same thing. They didn't go through the same thing. Let me go.
Big way, people creating an ideology around slavery based fundamentally on biology. It's not because
He said they created this based fundamentally, the fundamentals, the basics of the transatlantic slave trade was biology, what your race was, white and Black. That's it. He said biology. He should have said white and Black, right? Now, this is the thing that he says after that It's crazy, crazy, crazy work because it's just a flat out lie. So I went across some of the things that I agree with, some of the things that are, I corrected with what he's saying. This is a college professor. And then this thing that he says right here, it's his own opinion, but he's teaching a room filled with college students.
It's not because Europeans were the most evil or the most violent or anything like that. It just happened that way, okay? You have to have a rationalization.
He said, because it's not because Europeans were the most evil or the most violent. If they're not the most evil and the most violent, then show me a people or a group in history who have been more evil, more violent than them. Like, you would have to show me that. That's why I said that's his opinion that he's telling these college students, because the facts are the facts. I don't know another people that could that would come in and try to wipe out the Native American Indians, try to wipe out the Mexicans, the Aztecs, then bring black people and try to, force them to build a country. Then after they've done all of that, still hate them so much that you would lynch them and burn them. Like, I don't know another group as treacherous as that. So that's his opinion as a college professor. But that's a lie. We know for a fact, the track record could probably wrap around the earth of the evilness that have been done by Europeans, by Caucasian people, to groups, brown groups, different peoples all over across the world. So in closing on this situation, on this video, chattel slavery was the worst thing that could have happened to anyone. There is no comparison. Don't ever let nobody try to downplay slavery like, oh, everybody goes through slavery. It happens to everybody. Hell no. I understand there are things going on today. There's, trafficking and all of these things, but they're allowed to go on. There are systems that allow these things to go on. I understand that. I feel for that. I understand that maybe Irish people were indentured servants. Yeah, that's cool. But it was nothing like being, reduced to property, reduced to like a horse or a mule and looked at as that way. It's nothing compared to that. You know what I mean? So Nora Wilson said, nobody else but the devil. I mean, come on, sis. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? And let me get to this last video. This is a video with, I believe it's Nick Cannon.
The environment you grew up in.
So I believe this video, is Nick Cannon with, I don't know who this man is. He looks like he's a, Nation of Islam, I'm assuming. Well, let's take a have at it.
Depending on the environment you grew up in, will determine the outcome of your reality. So this is a society where the wicked socially engineer criminals, socially engineering our women and putting them up on a pole. We're the only ethnic group that degrade our women in our music. Who's having us to do that? Who know who we really are? Because when we wake up and find out who we are, and that the nearly 100 million of our ancestors who were at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, when their prayer went up that God would free generations after them, we're at that time of the woke culture where our people are waking up, but they're being manipulated to do this or manipulated to do that. Have a beef in your song. Why this brother? And his followers now hate your followers.
Separation.
See, the biggest enemy to Black progress, it's not white people, it's not Jewish people, it's not Asians, it's ignorance.
That brother said a lot. He said he said a lot. He made a lot of points in there. The main point is the last point is he said the biggest problem isn't white people, it isn't Jewish people, it isn't Asians, it's ignorance. Now, I agree with that, but I wanted to just make sure that people know that what other people have done to manipulate, that they don't get off the hook. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to ignorance, ignorance is generational in the Black community. Uh, Ignorance is championed in the Black community. Like, we love to be ignorant of certain things. And that ignorance is why there is such a lack of righteousness amongst our people. You know what I'm saying? Like we lack the morality, we lack the righteousness to make good decisions and good moves. And it's all because of ignorance. Now, ignorance, it's okay to be ignorant. It's totally okay to not know. Totally okay to not know. But once you learn and you know, now it's not okay to keep doing the things that you're doing. But our people reject knowledge. Our people on purpose, they reject knowledge. And like, there's so many brothers that are trying to give knowledge, that are freely giving knowledge. We're not selling knowledge. We're telling this knowledge on the street corners. We're telling people what's really going on. But our people love the vanity. They love that more, and the attention and TikTok and, social media. They love that more than doing the right thing and the knowledge of who you are. The ignorance of who we are is why we still can't get right in 2025. The ignorance that we say, them niggas ain't talking about nothing. Man, what that nigga talking about, man? This nigga on some whatever, man. I'm trying to go smoke this weed. I'm trying to go be with this hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so there's nothing wrong with being ignorant, but there is something wrong with wanting to stay in ignorance. Like, why do you want to stay in ignorance? Like, I can't fault somebody for being ignorant. In the Black community, ignorant is like you call somebody ignorant, it's like a bad word. If I call you ignorant, it's like, if somebody was to call me ignorant, and that's just from how I grew up, I would feel disrespected, especially now knowing that ignorant is just not knowing. But people throw that word around in our community a lot. Like, if it's something they don't understand or they don't know why you acting that way, this nigga ignorant. These niggas is ignorant. They ignorant. You know what I mean? But ignorance is just not having the information, not knowing. If you had the information of who you are as a people and what your purpose is as a people, then it wouldn't matter what white people do, what Asian people do, what Jewish people do to you. They wouldn't be able to do it, because you would now have the knowledge to say, you know what? No, I don't want this in my community. I don't want my people to be projected like that and promoted like that. No, we're good on that type of music. No, I'm not signing this record deal. No, we're cool. We don't need it. You would know that because you would have the information. And so I think the biggest, like he said, ignorance is, a big thing with our people. But I also will say that the desire to be righteous and good is also something that our people are missing. The desire to be a better person on a day-to-day basis, the desire to learn something new on a day-to-day basis, the desire to be righteous. I think that is something that we are missing. We are definitely not, I don't think so. I know so. That is something that we are missing when it comes to our people. So with that, y'all, I'm about to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me I had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but I'm glad that I was able to get it out. I'm glad I was able to get it out say what I needed to say, what I had planned to say. And I did that. So I appreciate y'all, brothers and sisters. And I'll be back uh next week. And in between time, I'll be putting some stuff up. Something else I didn't say is that TikTok went down. Also, CapCut went down. Now, CapCut it's a program that I actually use for editing videos. I started using it about 4 months ago. I've always used Adobe Premiere Pro, which is something I've been using since the early 2000s. But I didn't even know like all of these companies are related. It's CapCut. It's another one like Redline. I think there's probably about three or four other companies that all went down when TikTok went down. I guess they're all related as far as being from China or something like that. But yeah, so I'll check and see if it's working or not. Norwood said they playing mind games. We don't even know they playing games with us. We don't even know they playing games with us. We just want to be fake equal, breaking a commandment and a covenant. Right. That's so true, sis. We don't know they playing games with us. We don't know that, we're in the, like how that movie is. We're in the Matrix, Nora. We're in the Matrix, like literally, like we are. And it takes, it takes a lot for you to wake up and snap out of it and say, damn, they really playing us and we're going along with it. And they're really, and I feel like this thing with TikTok, people are going to be like, man, yeah, Donald Trump was the right pick because, he got TikTok back on. And TikTok is so much mediocre, trash conversations. People be on their live just talking out the side of their neck, stuff that is not even, everybody had like what the sad thing about, all of it, social media is it makes everybody feel like what they are saying is the truth and what they are saying is it's needed when it is not. It's not. Some people just need to be quiet. Like I said this before, a lot of social media is basically like school. You have the smart kids, you have regular kids, and then you have the special ed. Well, on social media, you have everybody on there. Everybody is on there, and everybody's opinion and everybody's angle is valid when it ain't. We gotta measure and put everything up against the truth. Everything should be measured on the scale of truth. And me personally, I would want to measure everything not only on the scale of truth, but on historical truth, on things that have worked and things that have not worked before. Things that were working, but then they showed over a process of time that they wasn't the right way to go. I would rather measure what everybody says against that, But yeah. But anyway, y'all, I'm up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Black Rain. Thank you. That Black Rain, you wasn't in here. I believe, was that last week? Or it probably was the week before. I don't think you was in here, but I had, I gave you a shout out. No, it was last week. I gave you a shout out. I seen your email. I gave you a shout out, for, brother, for checking on me and asking me, was my family all right with the fires and everything? So I just wanted to let you know that. Nora Wilson is what owned by TikTok? The other companies? I don't know, but I think that they are. I think that they are. They have to be based in China. They have to be. Because the United States is trying to come down hard on, especially places, companies that are based out of China and in those different areas, feeling that they could be, just, gathering information, which I believe they are, gathering information on the users of these platforms and just doing surveillance and all of that on America. And so as America has to be skeptical of everyone because they've been so horrible to every other nation. So now it's kind of like that nigga, that brother in the hood. He done got into it with everybody. He done shot at everybody. He done did all kind of hell. And now he doesn't have a peace of mind walking up and down the street or rolling because he's wondering what angle everybody is on because he feel guilty for all the things that he has done. That's pretty much how America is. Our government is like they feel guilty for everything people have done, and so they're always speculating on would this be? Are you spying? Are you trying to find out information? That's America for you. The America will reap what it sows. Black Rain said, oh yeah, I got the new. It wasn't online for about okay. That's what's up. Speaking of PC, I probably need a new one. Need a new laptop. Yeah. I was kind of happy to think I was leaving. I was tired of seeing men dancing. Oh, you crazy, sis. You's crazy. Yeah, tired of all of that grown-ass men dancing and twerking. I was just really tired of, the lack of substance that TikTok promotes. TikTok promotes a lack of substance, a lack of what's the word? Well, I'm trying to find the word, but TikTok it's just mediocre. It's just, it's trash. And like I said on before the stream had messed up, I said, like, when it comes to TikTok, man, you could do anything, do something silly, and you can gain followers. So there is no line, there is no method to growing, but you can easily grow a following on TikTok. It's designed that way. And so people see, okay, what I was saying last time, I got a likes on this, I'm gonna go in. And so what happens is you have a lot of people having conversations on TikTok, doing things on TikTok that are detrimental to people that view them, that have no substance, that a lot of times make no sense, that are just not, how can I say? The point is that you can easily gain followers on TikTok. So it makes people feel like, I'm somebody and I'm gonna go all in. And social media in general is designed that way. It's designed for you to feel empowered and feel some type of way when you see that you're getting likes. They did studies on this. They've done studies when people when they hear that ding, when they hear the like sound, they are locked in. They become locked in, you know what I mean? And it's a good feeling. It's like it becomes like a drug. So like that video with that sister crying over the fact that TikTok was going to disappear, that's crazy. That's like a fiend. That's like a fiend not being able to find a drug dealer. They got money, but they're not able to find a drug dealer for like 2 weeks, and they're just going crazy. And they're crying about it. They don't know what they're going to do with their life. Probably get some real talent. Come with some real ideas. How about you come with some real recipes or a tutorial on how to do something that could actually help somebody else out. I don't know. It's just a thought, you know what I'm saying? It's a suggestion. It lacks morals and dignity. Oh yeah, TikTok definitely lacks morals and and dignity. I only use it for recipes. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I ain't even talking about those type of creators. Those type of creators that are making recipe, making food, showing you how to, fix a hole in the roof, showing you this, showing you that. Those type of people are valuable. But the twerking, the stupid little dances, all of that childish stuff, and those conversations that are meaningless, those should be in a whole nother category. Those should be with TikTok, like niggerdom. That shouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? We should have social media that has something where it's just It's people that can benefit for what you produce. And if it's going to just be you bouncing your ass on a screen, then you should be on OnlyFans or something like that. That's where you should be. You know what I'm saying? But for women that have a because there's a lot of women with a lot of good perspectives, a lot of good information, recipes, encouraging things to say, that are those messages are needed, but the majority of TikTok was not even needed. Like, we don't even need it. And like I said, in China, their version of TikTok is highly censored because they understand what it does to the eyes and to the mind of their children. So you're not going to. There's no twerking videos in China on that platform of TikTok, but in America, it's all dumbed down. It's like it's a dummy platform. Nora said, the stupid and crazy, they are the more foolish. It's more. Yeah. I said good riddance. I said good riddance to TikTok, but Donald Trump said, you know what? I'm going to do what I can. So now Donald Trump is going to have the support of everybody that was sad that TikTok was leaving. Donald Trump now is going to have that support. And I'm pretty sure. So it was a lot of Kamala supporters that are now looking at Donald Trump like, oh man, he's a champion of free speech. He's getting TikTok back online. But anyway, y'all, man, I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. And I'm going to wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? This is Black Authentic Truth. Nora, Black Rain 303, Renee, Kalmaz Boff, and everybody that was in here. If I forgot your name, forgive me. Okay. But I'll see y'all next week. This is Black Authentic Truth. Peace.